Hopefully I actually fixed my chat thingy this time. Yes. Yay, it works. Okay. Cool. Yay. Hopefully that works out okay. Yeah, it's been like a year or two or something since I played this game last. Welcome home. It feels weird because now I don't have to wear a headset because I'm not talking to anybody and I just have the audio on the desktop. Weird now. There we go. But yeah, it's been like a year since we played it, and I've had the DLC, the Derek DLC, which I think, Poe gave to me. Right back when I started playing this game, because it came out right after I finished that playthrough. And so, finally getting around to playing it. Very excited by the numerous food options and toppings. I do remember one of the highlights I always remember is that you commented on you always get so excited when they give you options, even when it's stupid shit. Yeah, it's true. I don't know, I like it. But so since this is the Derek DLC, and he's not in the first part of the game, like when you're 8 years old. Like they asked you what you wanted on your ice cream. Look! I don't know, man. It's cute. But yeah. Since it's the Derek DLC, we don't have to do the first part of the game. So I just went back to one of my old save files that was right before the second part. And we're just gonna do it all again. If you don't remember what happened in the first part, they were 8 years old, Cove moved in, we were friends. That's it. But this time around, we're not flirting with Cove anymore, so he's just going to be the bestie for the whole time. We'll see how that goes. I think I already made her mostly how I wanted her. She looks the same all the time because it's always just little. Yeah, let's see how much of this I remember and how much of it is different now. Hopefully this works. Hopefully the DLC just works in and I didn't have to start a whole new game because that'll be fucking awkward. Relaxed. We have to stay fond of Cove. We can't move up any higher, or else it prevents doing anything else. Oh right, I forgot you get to customize Cove. They have it set up so that he will adjust based on your choices, but you can also change him yourself. I'll just leave him be. It's fine. Unless you want me to make him and play with him. No? Give him cute. I don't know if there's other. I feel like that shirt's pretty cute. Yeah, he only has so many options. Yeah. That's it. Give him glasses. I don't... Glasses and the tank top. We can change his hair and stuff too. Just these two though. He gets more options as he gets older too. Because I think, like, your influence on him changes. You like this one? Okay. He's the bestie, so it's gonna be great. Oh, we can give him... Oh, he just has the one necklace. And then he can have bracelet or no bracelet. And then big bracelet or little... Yeah, Babu! We love him. I'm so sad that he's not the one this time. He is gonna be my best friend, though. Absolutely, 100%. We still love him. We love him. Okay. Platonically. Yeah, I know! Oh, there's... Oh, right. I forgot there's... I like that one. Purple. I don't remember this. I have no memory of this place. I like the black one. I like that the black one has a hood. Alright. Oh! Yes! Okay! This is how you feel towards Derek for the step. It can be the same or different from how you feel towards Cove. Oh, do we want to already be crushing? Do we want to kick that off right now? Crush? And I just always picked relaxed because I feel like that's easy. Even though I feel like nervous is also fine, but relaxed usually I think just has the most little as in little the character options. Yeah, chill person. But when I played it through the first time, it was kind of based on me, and while I was like a nervous little kid, I don't know, I usually just roll with it. It's fine. Alright. Already crushing on him. Let's go. Are you sure? Yes. August ended, September began, it was time to go back. Ew, school. Oh, fuck. Wait, when did I... Oh, it has been over a decade since I've been, at least in, like, public school. Ew, I hate that. Lizzie groaned and complained the entire first week. She hated going to classes. Still, there was interesting things to do. Couldn't be done anywhere else. You can do anything you can do in school just about anywhere else. And better. Because school has, like, cheap shit. Because they don't get any good funding. Or they don't put their funding in, like, good places. You weren't sure how Cove felt about it. He was enrolled that year. That was, like... Oh, that was, like, a sign... Cove would be oh yeah. At school he was alright, but kept his distance from other kids, from what you saw. Whenever he could, Cove stuck to you like glue. I misread it and I thought it said struck you with glue. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't remember that. He didn't even mind that much what you did to pass the time as long as you were together. Yes, my bestie. We can be autistic besties together. Throws a bottle of glue at your face. I do wonder how Cove acts if you are always indifferent to him and just are never really that friendly with him. Because he has to be around for the game. He's in all of these places, so to a degree you have to interact with him, and so if you're not friends, it more has to be a situation that you are just around each other because you are neighbors. But I wonder if you can actually, like, make him dislike you. It's not something I'm going to test, because it would hurt. I don't want to. But I wonder if you can. That year, the divorce of Cove's parents was finalized. You overheard your parents talking about it. saying Cove's dad got full custody. I do wonder how that happened. They kind of talk about it, and I don't remember if they were ever specific, if she just gave up the custody. Because she's like a successful news person, or like journalist or something like that. Or successful in quotations. She's doing fine. And I guess his dad owns a bunch of he owns a swimming shop now, like a bunch of snorkeling and ocean gear he sells. I don't know. At first you worried that meant bad news. It had made Mr. Holden cry, apparently. Did I even know that's his name at this point? Then you found out it meant Cove would keep living with his dad. He would only stay with his mom a few weeks of the year. Cove cried too, for different reasons. It seemed like Cove and his dad might move again, but Mr. Holden decided to stay after all. Mom asked him about it once. He had said he didn't want to uproot Cove's life a second time. I think I talked about this a lot last time. I moved so much when I was a kid, I just got used to it. Mr. Holden tried to get Cove to like Sunset Bird more. He kept encouraging his son to go out and see the place. Sometimes Mr. Holden volunteered you to spend time with Cove. You didn't need to volunteer me, that's my friend. That's my bestie. He seemed very confident that it was an effective strategy. Cove never talked to anyone about what happened with his parents and withdrew whenever it was brought up. It was hard for him, yet nobody knew how to help. Eventually, Cove stopped crying on his own. You couldn't understand what had changed. Still, you worried about him. You could tell he wasn't completely happy. Maybe one day he could say it out loud. After that, it felt like things had gone back to normal, except what was normal didn't stay the same. Years passed, and suddenly you were in middle school. You weren't a kid anymore. You were 13. I know that's how it feels like for a 13-year-old, because I vaguely remember it. But that is a funny statement now. That officially made you a teen, even if your sister didn't agree. Yeah. I mean, technically, yes. The toys and crayons that used to litter every free space in your room had been packed away somewhere, replaced with new hobbies. There were other changes too. Cove's cast got taken off. I would be concerned if it was never taken off. That bitch would be gross. Cove's cast got taken off. It was weird to see him without it initially. Underneath the pink plaster ended up being a long, thin scar that snaked across his forearm. Cove's chest puffed out in pride when someone drew attention to it. Aw, battle scars. He also went through major growth spurt. Yeah, that bitch is tall. He was the tallest student in the class for 2 years in a row. Cove will probably hold that spot again next time. And class people knew him for more than just being tall. He also stood out because of how well he did in the gym and other athletic situations. So this is something that can change based on, like, that's one of the things that can change based on how you talk to him. So if you talk to him a certain way, he can end up having, like, a slightly different personality. He can be more nerdy and more introverted. And then if you talk with him and have different hobbies, he'll become more athletic and shit. And so far, every time I've done this, he has always become athletic. And I think that's because I mostly encourage, like, going out to the beach and doing the fun activities. And only occasionally talking about, like, the sciencey nerd shit. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I think I was picking those options just because I felt like it felt right for them. Over the years, he began opening up more too. You saw him talking amicably with other kids or neighbors from time to time. Oh, this is where we find out he has other friends, I think. And the only kid that came to visit the neighborhood with you when you were little... Oh yeah, Shiloh! I kind of forgot about that kid. Well, he was gone. He and his mom moved back south because of her work just 1 year after Cove came to Sunset Bird. Rip that kid, he was actually kind of a shitter. It had been really upsetting when he left. Lizzie was inconsolable for weeks, but nobody talked about Shiloh anymore. It was a long time ago. I love how it says long time ago. It was like 8, 9, 10. Oh, I guess 8 years. Yeah. You learned some heartbreaking things, became less sad the further away they were, even if they had never gotten any better. It was sad in its own way. Things at home were different too. You still lived in the same house and all that, but it wasn't how it was before. Ma dyed her hair purple, wanting something new, and liked it so much she kept dyeing it. Yeah. You remember calling her mommy as a kid, but something like that seemed awkward nowadays. You were much too old for the word. Bullshit. Lizzie felt so mature. Oh, too mature for her nickname too. She insisted everyone keep calling her Elizabeth, so you did. Your mom soon gave her permission to go to places other than the playground and the shopping street, which she took advantage of. You rarely saw her around the old neighborhood. In fact, she hardly spent time with you the way she did before. Elizabeth instead associated more and more with girls from school who were her own age. Oh! There was a little kitty cat sneeze. Hi, kitty cat. Oh, getting distracted. Maybe the difference between 13 and 15 is greater than the difference between 8 and 10. Kinda. Also, shout out to the ages that Val and Scrawl were. I didn't even realize that. You started befriending new people yourself, like Derek! He didn't live in the neighborhood or go to the same school. What happened was his and Cove's dad struck up a business partnership a few months ago. Oh, we've only known him a few months at this point? I didn't remember that. I thought he had been around for like a bit longer than that. Since then, Derek would pop up in the area now and then. It seemed Mr. Suarez was happy to let Derek tag along to his work if Derek had time for it. Without a doubt, everyone and everything around you had changed. In small and big ways, you had too. Yeah, it was even shorter. As time went by, though, it was easy to settle into this new normal. Then, before you knew it, school was over, the summer vacation had begun. Oh, come again, whatever. It was the first day of summer vacation. The sun was hot as a... but you were inside and away from its harsh rays. I don't want it to talk about being hot. I forgot about that. I don't want that. How do I... Can I mod that out? Never talk about being hot. To be more specific, you were... snuggled up in bed, celebrating time off by sleeping in. Wide awake, about to head up... Yes, it's hot as... My computer was giving me, like, warnings about extremely hot heat today. Don't go outside. And I'm like, That's nice. Woke up wide awake. You made sure to slather on a generous amount of sunscreen. Yes. You were looking in the mirror, studying... Well, to be fair, this is based on Little and not me. Little is already tanned. I'm pasty as hell. So I do have to lather on sunscreen like that. You were looking in the mirror, studying the clothes you'd thrown on when your bedroom door opened without warning. Excuse you! In the reflection, you saw Elizabeth raise an eyebrow. Have you been staring at yourself this whole morning? Bitch! Could you not? Yes, knock, please! As somebody... Okay. As somebody who had a male sibling figure, and they never fucking knock on the door, and I was like, dude, what the hell? There's pride to... Look, it's one of those things where it's like, I sure am filled with pride, and if I want to stay that way, I'm not gonna go outside in that weather. That's just gonna make me angry and upset and tired. She ignored that, crossing her arms over her chest with a disgruntled expression. Clearly, she hadn't come to just see you. Just to see you. Oh. Mom told me to tell you that your friend's at the door. You could have said that through the door. He brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Holden. Mom wants you to take it from him. Says thanks or whatever. Or say thanks.
Come on.
So come down. Lisbeth said nothing else and left, having done what was instructed of her. Now alone, you focused on the mirror once again. Here we go. Your reflection hardly fixes... Here we go. How short am I? You had trouble getting your reflection to appear in the mounted mirror frame. You're very short. Real life. True to life. You were even smaller than Darren. People were always surprised to find out you and Cove were the same age, considering the almost comical height difference, indeed. If this was you, you'd be picking super tall, because you're a tall bitch. You looked your height, you weren't sure how you were kind of... I'm indifferent to my height. I can't control it. Sure. It suited you well. Sure. When you put the finishing touches on your outfit while ruminating on the situation, careless as they had been, Elizabeth's words piqued your curiosity. You planned on going over to see what Cove was up to, so this worked in your favor. Your reflection grinned back at you. You were looking forward to seeing him. Yeah, my bestie! You left your room, taking an easy time down the stairs. That awkward moment where you miss the one step and you just whack! Made me think of it. You spotted Mom first, reclining on the couch. She held a magazine in her hands, which she was Have you ever... Okay. This happens in all of these games, and all of this stuff, where there's a parent just in the living room reading a magazine. Has that ever happened? I have never seen a parent, or anybody, ever do that. My dad's been reading the newspaper. I feel is a little different. And then, this is also like... Well, I guess this is still considered morning in the game. But usually, the parent that is in the house is doing stuff. Almost always. They're doing something. They don't just sit down and watch magazine. Like, read magazines. Like, my mom watches TV, I guess? But usually she's, like, doing stuff while she's watching TV stuff. I don't know. It's weird. It's in everything, and I don't know. She looked up at your greeting, smile instantly appearing on her face.
Thanks.
Hi, Mom. Thank you for coming down. I mean, I was eventually gonna come down anyway. Ma's at the door with Cove. He can't stay over today, unfortunately. Why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? Lame. You nodded and made your way to the front of the house. As she said, Ma was there making conversation. She must have heard you because she looked over her shoulder.
Oh?
Yee, Ma's so cute. Look who finally made it. Ma reached forward and you knew she was about to pat you on the head. She was taller than average for an adult woman, so at your height, you were absolutely tiny in her eyes. Oh my god, I'm always gonna be her baby. It's fine. It's fine. Head pats are allowed as long as you don't start shaking my head. Sean does that shit. It's one thing to, like, pat and gently, like, pet to play around. But that boy, I have curly ass hair. Hold on. I have curly ass hair. And this man will shove his fingers in there and start shaking. And then it gets all knotted and tangled and he starts pulling his hand out and it, like, yanks. And and every time he does it, and I'm like, Sean, don't do it. It hurts. And he still does it. Little bitch. You stood by patiently and indulged your ma's wishes. She gave you 2 small taps on the crown of your head. Asshole. He doesn't do it to cause pain. He's just a boy. I don't know. Men are just so rough. With everything, for no reason. There was like that old-ass Jenna Marbles video. I don't know if anybody remembers. But she talks about how, like, men don't know what gentle is. Like, they need to take whatever they think gentle is and dial it back further. Because it's, like, ridiculous. You're the last one down today, you know that. Ma! Stop embarrassing me. God, Jenna Marbles, that's a name I haven't heard in forever. Yeah, I used to love her. She left the internet because of some controversy that happened. I don't really know anything about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But she's just no longer making videos. She's not really around. But I do miss her old videos. They were funny. Life isn't a race. I was going to stay longer, so you're welcome. Sure. Funny. I don't think that excuse will work if you're late for another. If you were late for anyone other than your own mother, though. I'm not late! I was up in my room! There was no reason for me to leave! Ma! Please. I always hate that. Why didn't you come outside into the living room? What the fuck is there to do in the living room? I was in my room. Doing stuff in my room. I was awake. The fuck? I always hated that shit. With a small laugh, Ma stepped aside. I forgot that the game used to, like, trigger me a little bit. Not, like, genuinely. But just because there were things that were, like, true to life, and I would go on tangents. Like I have this whole time. Cove was just as you remembered exactly how you came to know him to be. Yay! He's got the little fruit bouquet. I forgot about that. Yes, you did. I can't help it. He leaned uncomfortably to the side of your doorway as his bushy hair covered part of his face. Yeah, we both have crazy hair. His features were pinched in embarrassment and he shifted from one foot to the other. He was holding what must be the much talked about gift. It's just one of those edible arrangements. Which, to be fair, I actually really like, even though they're, like, weird and probably overly priced. I just like them. They taste good. At first glance, you figured it must be a bouquet of flowers, then you gave it a real look. No, instead, it was carefully cut fruit. Hell yeah. It made a lot of sense that it was actually from Cove's dad. You had to suppress the laugh at this showing. You couldn't imagine many folks buying that sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. Incorrect. I used to get these for my birthday all the time. And then I've bought some for birthdays. Because they're nice. What kind of arrangement was built? That kind of arrangement was built for the presentation, likely to impress whoever was inevitably going to receive it. Yes, however, they did taste good. Or at least I remember them tasting. Like, it wasn't, like, amazing, but it was nice. It seemed no matter how long he lived here, Mr. Holden would keep going out of his way to be neighborly. Yee. Fruit tasting. And Cove would always be roped into participating. Yeah. That's what being the child is like. Roped into your parents' weird shit. Cove smiled at the sight of you and the sting of this goofy errand. He was clearly embarrassed to be uneased. Oh, I see. Hey, little. It's weird saying, in quotations, my own name. You smiled back. It was second nature to you. Cove had always been such a close friend ever since the two of you were kids. It's nice to see you. Yeah, you too. Typical child interaction. Your grin widened even more every time he came. Your mood was brightened. Yeah, bestie. It was already shaping up to be another long summer with plenty of time for the two of you to have fun together. Summer was never long when I was a kid. Summer is long now that I'm an adult and it's fucking hot. And it never stops being hot. Summer's too damn long. His awkwardness over the task started to creep back in, so Cove nudged the gift closer to you. He was ready to be relieved of it. And with that, the gift was accepted. I'm gonna eat this whole bitch. I hope you and your family like this. It's a pretty good gift. I think so anyway. He smiled earnestly. Yeah, that's right. Cove knows. That's why. That's why I love him. He knows what's up. Dad spent a lot of time picking out the best size and design. There are so many options to choose from. There are. I've done it. Thank you. We're not flirting this time, even though he is cute. Could you tell your dad we love the gift? 10 minutes into the Derek run, already falling in love with Cove again. I do, though. I adore him. He's such a sweetie. Mr. Holden's behavior really was different from any neighbor you'd ever had, blah blah blah, period. Though, after 5 years, you were used to his antics, and you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. Oh, we love him. Did I pick this one before? I remember seeing this and I was like, well, I think this, but my character is 13. I don't... Fuck it. So there were some things people didn't like about Mr. What do people not like about him? I never understood. I get why him and Mama aren't together. Like, they just didn't work. But they're still completely amicable. Like, they're very sweet. That's fine. What do people not like about him? Mr. Holden DLC win. Straight up, if they made DLC for both of Cove's parents and you just played, like, an adult character or something, I'd play it. I'd buy that shit. Hell yeah. You didn't mind them and liked him quite a bit. I'm crushing on your dad. And even if he was Cove's dad, you couldn't pretend like he wasn't a nice-looking guy. That was good too. But it was something you kept to yourself. Yes! Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. Game becomes about bonding with Cove as your stepchild. Ugh, that's weird. There you are. You shared a confused look with Cove as one, both of you stepped through the open door into the neighborhood street. It didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. You spotted Derek just a few yards down the road and he ran up to you. Hey, it's the baby! I'm crushing on him, but I'm unhappy to see this boy. Yeah, he's a friendo. Derek was certainly a welcome guest in your neighborhood. It was a pleasant surprise whenever he showed up. He is a sweetie, too. Derek, come to remind you whose route you're playing. Look, If it wasn't for the fact, okay, if this was actually something where I had to, like, break Cove's heart to date Derek, I couldn't. However, with the way the game is set up, if you just keep being friends with Cove, he continues being your friend. I don't know if he ever evolves past that. If you don't... Like, if I'd never move the relationship up to the crush level, then he's not going to make moves like that, I don't think. So that's fine. I'm okay with being besties. Cutie! After stopping a couple steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. He's so cute. I do love Derek, though. He's a sweetie. I liked all the boys. Actually, I wonder if they would... No, because they start dating, don't they? I was about to say, the other, Miranda... Derek also has Lalafell energy. You say that, but remember in step 4, he gets huge. So it's more like... It's not Elizan energy. But basically, he goes from being tiny to big. Oh shit, that's right. Yeah.
Hey.
Lalafell energy, but when he drinks Fantasia into... I just think of it as like... Well... No, because Skrull was always big. So it would be Kai energy. Because Kai was like a runt. He was a little baby. He was small when he was a kid. And hit a growth spurt when he turned older. Guy and gal. I was just at your house, Cove, but no one was there. Cove's so fucking tall. Should have figured you'd be at Little's place. Do you ever spend time in your own home, or are you always just there? We are attached at the hip, platonically. Derek laughed at his own joke. He either didn't notice that it embarrassed Cove, or the embarrassment was what he was actually laughing at. Derek turned to you. He was going to say more when his eyes widened and he... What did I do? What's that? Oh, I have the fruit. You followed his gaze, unsure. Then you realized what he meant. You were still holding Mr. Holden's gift. Kinda like a bouquet of flowers, but made out of fruit.
Nice.
Nice. Can I have some? It is a gift for... I'm 95% sure you had the exact same reaction last time. What? What reaction? Which part? What'd I do? What is it? Oh, right, I'm holding the dumb thing. Anyway, the VODs are on YouTube. We can check them. I would love to give it to him, but it was specifically a gift bought for my family. Derek pouted at your words, not I'm sorry, baby. Oh, okay. Then he nodded his head as if to clear it. Anyway, that's right. I came here because I needed to say something big. He paused, possibly for effect. Oh my god. He is actually so Kai-coded, though. It's very cute. There's some other kid here in Sunset Bird. What? Some other kid? Oh, this is where we meet the Jeremy, isn't it? Cove was as surprised as you there by the news. Such a reaction made sense. No one around your age had moved here since Cove did 5 years ago. The asshole. Yeah, Jeremy! Shut up! I like Jeremy. He turned out pretty cute. Were they with their family? Maybe they were cutting through. Nuh-uh. The new kid is all by himself, just walking. Did you talk to him?
Nope.
Nope. I came back to report the sighting right away. Yeah, he's a weevil. A weevil! Yay! is. The kid had green hair, glasses, was pretty small, and seemed really upset about something. I hope he didn't leave. You blinked. Slowly, you looked over at your longtime neighbor. That sounds a lot like you, Cove. When you first got here, anyway. It kinda does, doesn't it? That's weird. He sounded almost fond, a small smile playing on his lips. Can't speak. Why I don't do these? It's because I can't read like this. Eric snickered good-naturedly. That's why I need you on here with me. You can read it. And I'll just play. I can see that really well now that you say so. But what do you say? Let's go find Cove's lookalike. We should all meet him. Just play the role of narrator. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
I'll do it. Sure, I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned and pointed down the street the way he came. Last I saw him, the mystery visitor was going in this... I still have the bouquet. Can I put the bouquet inside? Nothing else needed to be said. The three of you were off, with Derek leading the way. Wait, did I take the bouquet with me? Derek brought you to the beach, and as a trio, you made your way down to the shore, to the old playground. You walked the familiar path in a comfortable silence. When you were almost there, you spotted the kid in question. His bright colors almost shone like a beacon underneath the rays of the sun. Or beneath, whatever. He scuffled around, kicking up sand as he paced. It was true, he certainly seemed upset, but you didn't think he was sad like you had originally pictured. No, with his erratic movements and scrunched up expression, he came off angry, I'm sure. He started to have doubts about this expedition. Maybe it'd be easier if you left him alone and let him sort himself out. Derek didn't feel the same. He waved wildly, calling out to the boy. God damn it, Kai. Hey guys, over here. I got it. I can see him, baby. Kai behavior. Yeah, exactly. I remembered what he looked like, as in I remembered he had the green bowl cut and the red and the yellow. His eyes are very pretty. The amber eyes. I remember he'd had those, but I forgot he was like hunched like a little fucking gremlin in his art. I forgot that part. The kid whipped around, an impressive scowl carved deeper onto his face. His eyes were tired, but a strong, hostile energy still radiated from him.
What?
What? What is it? What do you want? Don't whip out your caterpillar card. I don't even remember what the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bug cards were named. There were a few of them. The sharp tone made Derek flinch and shifted on his feet. What's your name? Jeremy. Was that it? Why is it always a Jeremy, though? Have you ever met a pleasant Jeremy?
No.
No, I'm Derek. That's Little Aunt Cove. We were just walking around and saw you. We wanted to say hi. There aren't a lot of kids our age in the neighborhood. I mean, the one in Code Lyoko wasn't that bad. Oh, that's true. That Jeremy... Well, to be fair, he was nice, but he was still a... Oh my god, he almost looked like this one if this one was blonde. Why? Why do they all look like that? Weird. Yeah, so you know, it's cool to see someone else here. Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If steam could erupt from a person's ears, it would have happened. They did bring me somewhere stupid. Of course, I knew it. Yeah, California is stupid. Cove is so fucking tall. What?
My parents.
My parents. They're the ones who brought me here. Hold on. I'll see if I can make it whinier. Hold on. I didn't walk into this town. You can't figure out what... No, I can't do it. Because I'll just get louder. Can you not figure that out on your own?
Right.
Right. My dad brings me to Sunset Bird too when he has to come for work. And all that stuff. It's not bad. That earned him a glare from again? My kind? This is actually the Kai route. That's fine. That's what I designed Kai for. That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with this Jeremy guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation probably either. Why? This is like a nice beach. That's an understatement. It doesn't count as a vacation. It's a waste of time. A chore. My parents' family is nearby. Oh, it's still him. My parents' family is nearby and we just had to come see them. Ugh. Ugh. How dare. If they're your parents' family, doesn't that make them your family too?
I guess.
I guess! I'm sorry, Jeremy is actually such a mood though. He's a little shit, but like, he's so... I don't know what the word is. He's something. That's a pretty good reason to come by. Did you want to go somewhere else? No, I wanted to stay in my room. Same, fam. No. Yeah. Jeremy crossed his arms with a huff. He turned away. They should have gone by themselves, since they cared so much and left me home. But I'm not allowed to be by myself. No, I wanted to stay home and look at my bugged Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We need to, he needs to have a, what was his name, Rex? The dino guy, they were buddies, kind of. They hated each other, but they were always together. It makes no sense. They're the ones who don't know how to do anything, and I'm the kid? Rex the dino. Was it Rex Raptor? Or am I getting that mixed up with other stuff? His unwanted partner in crime. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Rex Raptor. Sorry, it must like being forced to do something you don't want. We just said hello, you don't have to keep complaining at us. Calm down, you don't have to yell so much. Who peed in your cereal this morning? You really don't know anything! You're right, I never learned how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Properly. I just liked collecting the cards. You turned to Cove, lowering your voice. I'm gonna punch this kid. The two of you aren't that similar. Similar. What? The two of you aren't that similar. Whatever. I don't know what happened there. Why I can't say it. Jeremy must have had good hearing though, because it's those bug ears. Because he caught the private exchange and scoffed. Also, I'm pretty sure 13-year-olds aren't so good at the whispering.
Stupid.
Of course we're not similar. My eyebrows aren't stupid. I'm gonna punch you. I agree, Cove's eyebrows are weird, but you don't get to say that. Cove's cheeks flushed crimson at the insult. You couldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger, maybe both. I did punch. I do remember, I think, getting into a fight with him, but I don't know if it was here or if it was in the play park storyline where he shows up again. Come on. Cove's baby eyebrows are cool. How can you say that? Maybe you've got a bowl cut. Yeah, fuck you. Don't listen to him. You're really unique and special. Well, they are kind of silly. Apologize to Cove right now. Cove smiles weakly.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Your eyebrows are so terrible. Tackle him! Tackle him! You just rolled your eyes. You crossed your arms. Shook your head. You patted Cove. You lunged! Oh my god! Get him! Sure, well, I don't know if I've ever actually fought. No, we got into a fight with him at one point, but I don't remember it was here. I usually try to be, like, chill with him. Because I actually like him, but he's just a shit. Get him! With your fists balled, you made a quick step forward. But you only wanted to spook him. He was the one who started things. You were ready to end them. I feel like the game is telling me don't do it. Because it gave me an option to back out. Fuck it. All in. He'd made it clear that words wouldn't work, leaving you to resort to action. You weren't sure what would happen, but you couldn't let this stand. Fuck it. Oh, no! Derek and Cove jump in to stop you before you reached him. They each grabbed you by an arm. Still, Jeremy instinctively stumbled backwards and practically fell over. Yeah, so we didn't fight him in this section. We fought him in the next section. If they were friends, they'd let you commit. No, they're good friends, but I do wish they had let me commit. Oops. If that's all you can do about what I'm saying, it's just proving I'm right. You're brainless. I'm coming for you, bitch! You were annoyed the other two were against you on this and got in the way. Though the reaction you had been able to get was still worth it. Yeah, fuck you. Wow, what is wrong with you? Instead of taking a... To be fair, he kind of now has a right to keep being a shit because I tried to attack him. Instead of taking offense, Jeremy only parroted Derek's words in a nasally voice. I swear to God.
Wow,
What is wrong with you? Wow. I love this fucking kid. I would have hated this kid in This is actually a kid I would have gotten into fights with if I was little. If I was younger, not if I was little. I'm pretty sure I knew this kid. Not that I've ever been in a physical fight. I don't know. I feel like I guess I had like an aura when I was a kid. No, I never punched anybody. That's not true. I did punch somebody once. But it wasn't really a fight. And it wasn't a kid like this. Different kind of kid. But I remember knowing kids like this when I was little. And I would always try to be nice to them. And they were always miserable little shits. And then I got to the point where I was just sick of them being miserable little shits. And so I would treat them like crap. And I don't know what it was. I had several people in the school who for some reason seemed to be scared or did not like me, and I'm not entirely sure what I did. But I never technically got into a fight until 8 middle school? And that was in this horrible school I was in. And what had happened is they were these two boys, they were in my class, I fucking hated them so much. They got us into so much trouble all the time. But I was kind of new to the class, and then throughout the year, there were 2 other new girls who joined the class, and the 3 of us kind of created a little clique, because the rest of the school was insane. The school was filled, like, the teachers and the students. I have never been in a school that was so filled with everybody who thought they were important and knew what they were talking about, but were just the worst people. We learned secret rabbit lore. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before. It might have been while playing this game last time, but whatever. But it was the worst school ever. None of the teachers were good. None of the students were nice. It was weird. And it wasn't even like a lower income school where there's like, you know, fights all the time or crime or anything. There was none of that. They were just terrible people all around. And so the 3 of us were like nice because we knew we had all come from other schools and we were like, this place is fucking weird. These people suck. The 3 of us are just gonna hang together and get through the last couple months of this year. But the story goes, we were in the line for lunch. The 2 shithead boys were like swinging their arms around with abandon, like they were fucking children. And they hit my friend in the back so hard that she actually got bruised. And I was sick of their shit because I had gotten in trouble because of them before. And I just turned and I fucking nailed one in the shoulder to get them to stop. And I was like, fucking knock it off. And so I whacked one, turned back. He turns around and goes, who the fuck hit me? And just lays one into my friend. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? There was less swearing. Because we were like, whatever age we were. I don't remember. But hit my friend again. And so she ran off to tell a teacher while I got in front of him and I was like, it was me, you fucking jackass. What the fuck is wrong with you? And all 3 of us fucking got in trouble and got put in the principal's room for lunch. And then I got released. After lunch, he just walked me back to class. And I was like, am I in trouble? And he's like, no, you're fine. And I was so confused. I was like, you're not gonna call my dad? Because I still had my stepdad at the time. He was the one who they would have called. Because I think mom was deployed. No, they never told my parents. Nothing ever came of it for me. I don't know why. But yeah, that's the closest I've ever been to being in a fight. This is dumb. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I just went on a whole tangent for 5 minutes. Jeremy stuck his tongue out and skulked away, throwing more sand everywhere as he went. You watched him go, hunched over until he became a speck in your vision. They were secretly like, thank you for punching them because it's illegal for us to... I don't know. I told them the story because of course they asked us what happened and I was like, well, they were swinging around and they hit us, so I hit them back and then they punched my friend and my friend went and told the teacher. And that's what happened. And I guess I did not... to be fair, they were repeat offenders. They were in trouble all the time because they were little shitters. So I am sure the teachers had a preconceived notion of what happened. However, I did full on hit that kid. So the fact that I didn't get reprimanded, not really. I don't know if I'm glad I didn't, but also I almost feel like that's partially the school just didn't give a shit. proof that the school did not fucking care. I don't know. They were shitheads, so I don't care. Yeah. This was also, like, the only school... This was the only school where I was bullied in such a way that I found it funny. In the other schools, I wasn't, like, bullied physically, but I would be picked on. And for some reason, I think because I never understood the joke, so people would play jokes on me, and I would just get confused, and they would think they were funny. And it wasn't until I was older that I was like, oh, they were, like, fucking with me. Whatever. This was the only time where, like, they picked on me for something that was so ridiculous that I was just fucking bewildered by it. It was stupid. I hated that school. I was only there for, like, a couple months. Not even 6. Like, 3 or 4. 3 or 4 months I was in that school. Silence reigned in his wake. The three of you tried to process what just happened. Also, I wonder if I do start a fight with him, if I keep trying to fight him, if I'll still be able to be friends with him later. Because that's what... I still want to be friends with him later in life. I can't believe it. What a mean kid. Derek wasn't kidding, and by the sound of those earlier complaints, the new boy Jeremy was going to be in the area for at least a little while this summer. Derek sighed in dismay, plopping on the ground. You followed, and Cove did too shortly after. There wasn't much else to do. Do I still have the bouquet? Did I just try to tackle that kid while I had the bouquet?
This sucks.
This sucks. I was hoping we could meet someone fun. What the fuck? Fun. Hang out, maybe. He shook his head. After a moment, he slowly turned to you with a hopeful expression. But, you know what would really improve the day? Bro, you should have thrown the fruit at him. Those little fruit bouquets, they're kind of heavy, but they usually come in, like, little plastic containers. If I would have I feel like I don't know if I would have... It's kind of unwieldy to throw, I would imagine. What? He didn't respond. Instead, he used a hand to point right at the fruit arrangement I was still holding it when I was going to tackle him. You'd completely forgot about it during the mini drama that unfolded. You had gotten used to the weight. Glancing over at Cove, you noticed he was eyeing the fruit. He must want some too.
Okay.
Sorry, boys. He sagged, still staring at the glistening fruits, but he didn't insist. I don't know. I feel like there should be an option to be like, okay, you guys can take, like, a stick or a fruit, but not too much. Yeah, it is a gift for the Flame family after all. They should be the ones who get to have it. Sorry for... No, it's okay. You're allowed to you can ask for anything. Quiet once more descended upon your group. Cove turned towards the ocean, peaceful. Neither of them are gonna address the fact that I almost assaulted that kid. Hey, you two remember the land before time? What the fuck? Did he mention this last time? I was just blasted back to when I was 6. The fruit thing makes me think of it. The dinosaurs liked the star leaves. Or whatever they were called. Motherfucking tree stars! Yeah! Tree stars! Tree stars. Oh, he says it. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, chomping leaves looked so delicious when they did it. Yeah, it did. I love that movie. Which one? There were I remember 1 through 6 being kinda good. And then I remember 7 wasn't. And then there was, like, another dozen they made after that nobody watched. I don't like that one. That movie's for kids. Fuck you! No, it's not! Eating leaves looks good. Should I worry about you? Do you think things taste better when they're shaped like stars? Me too. Hell yeah. Derek didn't say anything further about dinosaurs or otherwise for the next few minutes. The three of you watched the waves crash into the shore. It's gonna be fun going back and rewatching the old VODs because I want to see if I went on the same tangents. Yeah? The two of you met eyes casually. No! I can't flirt with you in this one! Stop it! Were you serious? Oh, here we go! Were you seriously gonna hit that guy? Oh yeah. He had it coming. Little, that's so bad! I don't give a shit.
I mean...
I thought it was cool. Stop! He's gonna make me fall in love with him again. I can't. I've already decided I'm crushing on Derek. Well, you're both crazy people. You knew when Derek said things like that, it wasn't serious. He liked you in Cove. I mean, remember when we watched the VOD for FF7 with Savvy, and you and I had the exact same convo that we had in the VOD like 2 minutes before? Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah. Derek then leaned back on his... leaned back. What the fuck? Derek then leaned back on his arms. He contemplated the sky. That's right, with a content sign. So, are you both ready for summer break? I mean, sure. Are you? Well, it feels like there's a lot to plan for. It's already here, baby. There's no more planning. What about you, Cove? Are you ready? I think that depends. Before you could say anything else, the light atmosphere was shattered. What? Hey, Little! You glanced over your shoulder to see your sister. She strode closer and closer, appearing none too pleased. I've been looking all over you. Ma said you and Cove ran off with the thing Mr. Holden brought us. She leered over you with arms folded. So, where is it? It's fine. It's right here. You turned your body to face her and held up the bouquet, proving that it was in one piece. She inspected the fruit arrangement with a small frown.
Okay.
Alright, looks good. But if all you're doing is sitting around, you better take it back to the house now. It's not just for you. Yeah. She grinned, glancing at Cove, who sat beside you. Even if you do have an in with the delivery boy, this was up to Mr. Holden. It's kinda hard to date someone else in this game. Cove stifled a chuckle and gave you a conspiratorial look. Oh, there's a boyfriend. Hold on. I am back. Alright. Get going. This wasn't okay just because you hadn't done anything. Yeah. Hush. It's fine. At least you didn't walk in on me trying to beat up a kid who had a insect Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Joke's on him. I have the god cards. Oh no, I think I hear the mean kid coming back. We better get out of here.
What?
Elizabeth blinked, looked around confused. What kid? I don't see anyone. Derek didn't bother explaining, just launched to his feet and ran off. Cove hopped up too, gladly taking the opportunity to exit the situation. He followed after Derek, but he sent a look to you from over his shoulder. You turned and watched Elizabeth. She stared back, brow raised. Can I give her the bouquet, though? I just want to give her the bouquet. You didn't make a break for it. Instead, you carefully got out from the stand, bouquet still in hand. Once you straightened up, Elizabeth smiled affectionately over at you.
Come on.
Come on, fugitive. You nodded, then examined the fruit skewers. You wanted to make sure it hadn't been jostled by this short adventure you'd gone on. It still looked great, Elizabeth noticed it. You know, we could split it now and tell them those boys ate it. They bailed, so they don't get to tell the story. Moms would never need to find out. Aww. That's kind of hypocritical of you. You laughed together, making your way side by side. You and Elizabeth didn't follow through with that joke. Eat everything before getting home. When the two of you returned, your moms welcomed you back. There wasn't a mention of the mini event that had unfolded. Yeah, that's because nobody else knows. Only I know. And the boys aren't gonna rat me out. The four of you happily split the bouquet in the end. After that, Derek rejoined you in the living room. Hey, bro. He had to show his face again eventually after running off. The dust had settled from the prior events, and your moms went back to their room. So Derek was just taking it easy until his dad arrived. Mr. Suarez was meant to be here any minute to get Derek. Derek preferred not to sit and instead took long, lazy strides in a circle around the edge of the rug. Oh. Hands behind his back and head angled towards the ceiling, Derek looked like he might have been puzzling how to cry. Oh, I see. Excuse you, kitty cat. No. He probably made half a dozen rounds when the solid knock struck your door that stopped Derek in his tracks. Why is he hanging at my house, not close? Dad's here. The both of you stepped towards the door in unison. You arrived first since you had a half-room head start. When you pulled it open only a crack, someone zoomed in past you. Oh, the siblings! Oh, we're meeting them already! That's why this seemed different. I just thought I wasn't remembering it correctly. The breakneck flash of a human was still entirely recognizable. It was Derek's littlest brother, Nicholas! Suarez, he shouted triumphantly. Look at the little babu! Got crazy hair. Derek, we're here. He was only 6, the tiniest kid around. Hot on his heels came the middle Suarez son, Jorge. Lulu energy.
Nicholas.
Nicholas, we have to stay in the car. We're going home. We're not here to play. He was 10 and his patience was being tested. The youngest one frantically shook his head. It had made his hair even messier than it already was. Nicholas's hair was as wild and free as he was. Hair clips and his parents' minivan couldn't contain the energy. It's Lulu. It's just Lulu. Oh no. Which might have been surprising considering he loved cars enough to wear a shirt covered in them. But you knew Nicholas loved Derek even more. Staying right where he was, inside your house, at his even older brother's side, Nicholas gave Derek a hug. I came to get you. Derek bent down to scoop Nicholas into his... The 13-year-old picked up the 6-year-old? I guess. Although he kept his face tilted up to make eye contact with Jorge.
Hey.
Hey, bros. Oh! Hello? I knew we met the siblings. I didn't know we met Mom and Dad. Side by side, Mr. and Mrs. Suarez trailed in. Oh! The resemblance between the parents and their children was clear. Yes! Derek and Jorge were the splitting image of their father. Jorge was even sometimes called Junior, while Nicholas was a mommy's boy. Nicholas was the only one who got the brown eyes in the family.
Good evening.
A good evening, little... Hello. You have to forgive the three-ring circus visiting town. The boys just had to come. It's okay. I like them, although I would probably hate to babysit them for extended periods of time, because they seem like they would drive me nuts. Don't worry about it, you're welcome here. The frown that had been stuck on Jorge's face finally eased up a little. Oh, how kind.
Goodbye.
But we can't stay. Thank you for letting Derek visit and tell your mothers I said hello. I'm actually surprised they haven't come outside, out into the room, since all the noise. Okay. Come on, boys. All four of you now. Let's give the Flame family their house back. Oh. I got confused. I was like, 4? I started trying to see if she was, like, pregnant in the art. No, she was talking about her fucking husband. I thought that was about to be really cute. I mean...
Yes, Mom.
Yes, Mom. Half of the group trotted forward with only a word. They went past Miss Suarez and out the door. She watched them go before surveying the situation with the most troublesome one. Nicholas was just bouncing around Derek as if he hadn't even heard his parent. It is still cute. Derek and his mom looked on with identical expressions of exhaustion tinged with affection. When an opportunity opened up, between hops, Derek carefully took hold of Nicholas's small hand. Let's go to the car, Nico. You can sit next to me. Thrilled by the promise, Nicholas let out another cheer.
Let's go!
Yeah, let's go to the car. Yeah, this is one of those kids where you like them at a distance. You're like, oh, he's so cute, he has so much energy, I'm so glad he's not mine. Miss Suarez left it there, trusting her eldest, and went to join Mr. Suarez. Nicholas gripped Derek's black wristband with his free hand, stretching it outwards with his eager attempt to lead his big brother along. Hold on, there's a cat crying. I'll be right back. He was crying like he was stuck in a room. He was in fact not stuck in a room. He was just standing in the living room. Derek stumbled forward with a chuckle, mostly to protect his band from being pulled too far, rather than Nicholas actually having the strength to move him. But he made sure not to forget you. Derek said his goodbye from over his shoulder. He screamed for your attention. I don't know what he wanted, because he stopped screaming as soon as I, stepped out there, but he didn't, come to me. Bye, gal. I feel like our friendship is better than gal, but sure. Bye. After their prompt entrance and equally quick exit, the whole Suarez family was on their way home. You, however, didn't have anywhere to go. It was late enough that the rest of the day would be spent inside your own house. That was a while ago now. Later that night, you found yourself seated near the kitchen counter. Your fingers drummed up the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the... Oh, right, the cousin!
We fucking cousin fucking?
No, we're not fucking a cousin.
Damn.
No, she's a sweetie.
I'm south, man. That deep fuck.
Shut up. You were waiting on a call tonight specifically from your cousin, Leandra. You didn't want to miss it accidentally. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many hours away. Your families only saw each other a few times a year for big occasions. A while back, though, they'd moved and were closer to you than ever before. You now hung out regularly. With school being out, you're positive she's going to want to come over a lot, and the two of you were the same age and got along well. She used to be really fond of Lizzie, Elizabeth, too, but now that your sister had become allergic to interacting with her own family, it tended to be just you and Lee who spent time together. She was your only friend who was a girl. Being family helped make you close, but you had a lot of... I guess so. You weren't all that close with any other girls your age. Because girls are mean sometimes. But you had plenty of other friends. But you didn't really have a lot of friends. Getting called out. Ma always said that quality was more important than quantity when Elizabeth bemoaned your small social circle. Middle school girls are assholes. Most girls. I guess I was friends with mostly girls because that made sense when I was little, but... Well, I have no retaining friends. Probably for a reason. You weren't sure how friendship quality was judged, but nevertheless you thought that what you had with Lee was good. Sorry, it sounds like there's a bunch of geese outside my window. Anyway. Yeah. When I was little, I kind of knew, like, what friendship quality stuff. But it didn't really matter, because I was little and I was trying to make friends, and I was desperate to continue making friends. So even if I was with someone who, like, we didn't really jive, they were still my friend. Yeah. Then the shrill ringtone announced an incoming call. You jump before grabbing the receiver and pressing it to your ear. We aren't even out of the prologue. Insert, huh? You were greeted by a distorted, high-pitched giggle.
What?
Why do you sound so weird? Hi, Lee. She's so cute. I love her. Mom answered the phone like that sometimes. It's supposed to be polite. You should go with hi. That was something a robot would say. There was static on the end as if Lee was shifting wherever she was. So can you believe school's actually over? I thought it'd never be done. Now we don't have to do any of that boring stuff and we get to hang out whenever we want. Speaking of hang out, Lee, can you wait a second? Let me just head to my room.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got from your seat at the counter. Luckily, the phone was wireless, so you didn't have to worry about any cords tying you down. God. First of all, it's already a landline, and then they talk about cord ones. Blast from my childhood. Your mom's had a rule about not moving the phone unless a call was in progress, which was why you'd been sat by its cradle waiting for Lee to call. Your mom's could be How is that unfair? No, that makes sense. It was nice to keep everything in its proper place. Not even necessarily that, like, kind of that, because you don't want to look for the fucking thing. But also, doesn't that keep it, doesn't it, like, because it's wireless, doesn't it need charged? So it needs to stay there anyway? It just makes sense. But now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your bedroom to talk to her. My fam totally lost wireless house phones before. Oh yeah, they would die. Or they'd be dead because they were yeah. You made your way up the stairs, smiling. After you had arrived, you shut the bedroom door firmly behind you. You took a seat on your bed. Alright, I'm here. Cool. Hey, did you know the girl down the street from me has her own phone now? A cell phone. She doesn't have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything. Unlimited nights and weekends. Oh god. Wow, really? The thought of someone having a phone that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you. Right? I wish I had one too, but my parents said I couldn't get my own phone until I'm more grown up. Yeah. I wish they'd change their mind. We could call each other every single day. And no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? Really, you would probably evolve into texting. We could even stay up late talking about whatever we want. Your parents still have to pay for that phone. She sighed thoughtfully into the receiver. At least they said I could have it someday. I can't wait. Wait. She sighed dramatically. I bet I'm not going to get one until I'm all the way in college. No. Usually 16-year-olds have one, partially because 16-year-olds and stuff like that are supposed to have a certain level of independence, like going out with friends, and having a phone is a good thing to be able to call your fucking parent to come get you. Until 8th grade, and it was specifically so I could call my parents after. See, exactly. So I wasn't allowed to really call whoever. Yep, exactly. Squeezing the phone between your shoulder and ear, you puffed up your pillows and made yourself more comfy. Also, 8th grade, when did I have mine? Maybe it's not in 8th grade. I don't think. Something like that. I think it was a bit later than 8th grade for me. It was strange to think of a time when normal school would be over and you'd have to choose whether or not to go to college. I definitely had one at least my freshman year. School is such a big part of your life right now. School is a big part of your life until you're no longer in school. Studying didn't come easily to you, though you tried hard. You worked about as hard as most people and got pretty average results as well. You never tried much, but still didn't do that bad. I hate those people. You didn't bother at all in school, and your grades reflected that. Everything in your classes came easily to you. You worked hard for your excellent grades. That was... Yeah, I hate you. You knew it was important and you wanted to do well. Frustratingly, even your best didn't seem to quite ever be good enough. You didn't know how it could get harder. The Steam achievement noises? Oh, that's because, I get, whenever Sean logs in, because we share, games, Steam notifies me. Because it's gonna either kick me off, or if he logs out, then I can use his games, right? So it tells me that stuff. Should probably turn that off. You didn't know how it could be harder. Felt a lot of pressure to get higher grades than you did last year. You hoped to do just as well this year, but it wouldn't be a big deal if you dropped some. You were confident your grades would be great. You had no plans on getting excellent scores this summer. Your future depended on it. I'm over here like, how are you getting achievements? You aren't doing anything that would... the I'm stupid in school achievement. You tried to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season. Lee knew you too well to be fooled.
What's up?
You sound spacey. What's up? Just thinking about school. Lee groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it because it's summer? That's what I'm doing. I'm looking forward to going back. Bullshit. It's so awful. I hate going. I get what you mean. Though I guess school isn't all the way bad. You can do some good things there. You can just do more when school's out. Learning new things can be cool. Gym is pretty great. That would be a Little response. This is Little's response. Like actual Little. It's the easiest way to hang out with people not in the neighborhood. True. The cafeteria lunches at my school could be better. Are better than they had any right to be. If a school has a good cafeteria food, holy shit. That's amazing. There's nothing good about my school. Sure, we'll go with the Little response. There was all sorts of sports during gym. Oh yeah, it can be fun sometimes. That's funny because I fucking hated gym. I just wish everyone did okay with how they taught the things, not just some people.
Me too.
Me too. If I didn't go to school, I'd never meet anybody new. No one really comes here. Dude! That's so fucking real, though! Uh-huh. Lucky, mine's boring. That's pretty much everything that's good about school. There was a post. There was a post from forever ago that was like, I don't know how to make friends outside of being under, like, the same institution. So it's like, you make all your friends in school. And then a lot of your friends come from work. And then some people make friends. I don't know how people make friends. Like, how do you even meet people? Unless you work with them. And most of the people I work with, I'm like, I work with you, we're not friends. I'm sure Savvy does it. Savvy knows how to do it. I decree the topic of school officially closed. We have to talk about the summer first before we can start plotting the rest of our lives. We got some plans. I've got some plans already. I'm not befriending. No. You know I can never be friends with any of the ladies I work with. Not a chance in hell. Like, they are nice to me. We're nice to each other. But there's no. Ooh, tell me. I'm gonna visit my cousins. Yeah, come visit. What's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head. I want to spend time with people. I've got new art supplies. We'll do the "this is me" answer. Can't wait to try them out. I can't wait to see what you make. How old am I? 13? I was... Where was I when I was 13? Probably still making like Naruto's OC and shit. You leaned back in your bed, settling in as you continued chatting with your friend, even though it hadn't been that long since you saw her, and even when you could soon found plenty to talk about. I never made a Sonic OC. Not once ever. For one, the events of the day... Oh, I have to tell her I almost punched somebody. I was with Cove and Derek today, and we met a new kid. Like, at your neighborhood? Mm-hmm. His parents were visiting family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What was he like? Well, you see, he kept talking about bug Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he kept trying to... I don't know. Yes, but every normal should make at least one Sonic OC. No, it's okay to not have a Sonic OC. I think my first... I made like... Oh my god. Nothing has changed. I made a bunch of OCs around the same time for a bunch of different things. So I had a Naruto OC. I had a Full Metal Alchemist OC. And an Inuyasha one. And then I had some for like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. So there was that. And then eventually I made my Bleach one later down the line. He was mean. He kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He just kept being rude to everyone. But basically Cove, but especially Cove, it was awful. I don't think I want to meet him. You want a boy to stay away before even meeting him? That's an unexpected... Well, you said nothing but bad things! Your cousin was pretty popular with boys who knew her. She seemed happy enough to have them around until they started to annoy her. Oh, little heartbreaker. Who are you to talk? Cove and Derek are always around. They're both boys, you know? That's true. It's not the same. They are not always around. Cove is. I'm not the one who invites them. They show up on their own. Lee laughed at your affirmation, deeply amused. Even though she couldn't see You shook your head at her, grinning to yourself. There was a stomping noise approaching your room, heralding the arrival of your irritated older sister. She flung the door open, a frown etched on her face. The little adventure from earlier hadn't got you any goodwill this time, it seemed.
Come on.
How long are you going to hog the phone? Glancing at your watch, you realized that your quick call had gone on much longer than anticipated. Elizabeth held out her hand and the other one lodged on her hip. She noticed the realization on your face. Time's up. Gotta go, I'll see you soon. No, get out of my room!
Bye.
Okay, see you. Tell Elizabeth and your moms I said hi. You'd barely pressed the end call button when Elizabeth whisked the handset. God, I haven't said that word in a while. From your fingers and began dialing someone new as she strode out of the room. Who the fuck is she talking to? She doesn't have other friends. Your mom's voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? I'm using it. With that, she shut the door behind you. Silence was left in the wake. That was one way to end your first day of summer break. It had gotten dark outside, and you laid in bed, wide awake. Your window rattled all of a something. What's wrong with me? All of a sudden, startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at it with furrowed brows. From your vantage point, you saw only the moon and the open sky. You were... What had caused that noise? I think he can sleep over here? I don't entirely remember. Frowning, you sat up and moved closer to the window. You might as well find the reason behind the disturbance. To your utter shock, your gaze was met with a pair of familiar ocean blue eyes. Cove? You squinted. Yep. Cove was right outside your window. Little monkey boy. Your house was very angular, and some parts stuck out further than others, so it theoretically wouldn't be hard to climb around. Still, just because somebody didn't mean you expected it to ever happen. To his credit, Cove was doing fine. His feet were braced against a section of the wall that jutted out, his hands flexing with the effort to keep him upright. He easily lifted a hand and waved at you from the other side of the glass. You hurriedly opened the window. Cove climbed over the ledge, releasing a breath once he was safely inside.
Hey.
Hi, little. What's up, Romeo? We're not dating in this one. We can't. God damn it. Thanks. I know it's late, but I didn't know what else to do. If I rang the doorbell, I know your moms would have answered, and they'd just make me go home. I didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyway. I don't want to talk about it. Okay? Well, besides with you, I mean. But that's why I did that. As unexpected as this was, you were touched. Cole felt like he could tell you what was wrong. I might have tried calling or something, except my dad was on the phone. Cove suddenly looked very cross. Dad, he was talking to my mom. Still is, probably. Cove had eavesdropped on his parents' phone conversation. He shouldn't have done that Easter. I don't give a shit. There were other things to talk. Yeah, I don't care. He's a fucking 13-year-old. Of course, he's gonna fucking listen in. Are you going to stay with your mom for a while? Also, one of the things I've always felt was weird about eavesdropping is if somebody is in the middle of the house talking on the phone, you can hear them. It's not eavesdropping to an I know that's like an excuse people make all the time. But if you're just talking openly and I can hear you, what do you want me to do? I can't not hear you. Every year, Cove was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks. When it happened varied. Sometimes he would go during winter break, but usually he went during summer. Oh! Is this the step where Mom comes to visit? Or is that the next one? I don't remember. Yeah, it is. Even though it was hard news when you found out he was leaving, and you missed seeing him those weeks, you understood. It's this one, that's why you can't put him... That's why you can... Oh, right, because we go camping. That's right, we all go camping together in this one. To your surprise, however, he shook his head. That's what I thought too, but no. That's not what they were saying. My dad asked my mom not to have me leave this year. He said she should come stay with us. You waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. You couldn't help but stare at Cove. There is a complicated mix of expressions on his face. What did your mom say? She told him she'd come. I know she's coming soon, before school starts. Oh. You had heard Cove talk about his mom a lot over the years. He'd tell you about past memories or what happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about someone and another to actually meet them. Very soon you were going to see Cove's mom in person. You were taken aback by the news, so you could only imagine how Cove felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across your room, his features pained with dread. Before they'd barely stay in the same room long enough to have lunch, how are we gonna be all together again, the three of us, after all this time, just for a few weeks? I know I should probably be happy they can talk to each other now. I'm still not. I'm just confused and freaked out, and now I feel really bad for feeling this way. I also think I just realized, in this save file, I didn't tell him about the $20 yet. Oops! That's gonna be fun. I have a really bad feeling for this. Because I think when in the playthrough I streamed, I did it when they were kids. However, in the first playthrough I ever played, I did it during this step. I think it was this step. And it's actually, like, a really nice scene. It's kind of, like, sad and intense for a bit. But I actually like it. Whereas, like, when you tell him when he's a kid, he just cries. Little, it's so... His fists tightened and his eyes became misty. I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time already, and I'm not a little kid. Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. There's nothing wrong with feeling bad. That is hard to deal with. You can do this. I'm sorry, Cove. I know. You know I'm here for you. Yeah, that's a lot. The tense line in Cove's shoulders eased. Thanks. It makes me feel a little better, like I'm not freaking out for no reason. The momentary silence fell over you two. You marveled at how the day started. You had woken up eager for summer vacation, but now things seem so crazy. The mini debacle with Mr. Holden's gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood being so rude, and as if all that wasn't enough, now Cove's mom would be living with Cove and his dad again. Well, she's just visiting. Your whole life was kind of like that, it seemed. Complicated and hard and different. Why couldn't things just get better with time? Little? The sound of your name, said quietly, pulled you from your thoughts. Cove gazed at you, concerned.
Are you okay?
You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. You know, some things were still good. None of this stuff is bad. I guess for, like, a kid. Maybe it's kind of weird. Cove grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but you knew it was genuine. Water break. He had come here conflicted and upset, only to end up worrying about you. He really was a great friend. Yeah, besties. I have to keep telling myself that, or I'll fall in love again. You know, I think I don't want to talk anymore about this. Okay. He looked away, his lips thinning into a line, and rubbed his arms. But I kind of don't want to go back home either. Could I stay here a little while longer, just doing something else? He appeared equal parts hopeful and vulnerable. How could you possibly turn him away? You held his gaze confidently, hoping your words got across to him. Cove perked up at your response, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed, not afraid to get comfortable in your room. You felt a little better at the sight somehow. You still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. And not just tonight, you were glad he came into your life in the first place. That was a change you'd never want to undo. It felt totally natural to let him into your little world. The initial friendship had deepened so much over these past years. My God. Struggling. And you were certain there was room to get even closer. No, not in this playthrough. Uh-oh. Stop it. You joined Cove on your bed, taking a seat across from him. He smiled at you again, but you could tell this time it was half-hearted. He was still easy to read. Though he didn't want to talk about his mom and dad, he must be thinking about what happened and what's about to happen. Is hugging too much? Is hugging too much? I feel like Little would have hugged Scrawl, but they were crushing on each other. I don't think I would have hugged one of my guy friends when I was this age. You don't think? Okay. We'll go, yeah. Hug for Boyle. You moved closer and wrapped your short arms, hey! Around him as much as you could. Your head was much lower than his, so there was nowhere for your face to go except the front. Oh no! No! It wasn't much, but you hope the contact helped even a little. Cove froze up, startled. After a moment, his arms came up and returned your hug. Yes, a bestie hug. Platonic hug. Boob face plant. Shh, 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 shh. We don't talk about that. The two of you remained like that for some time. He might have mumbled something to you, but it was too quiet to tell what it was. When you pulled back, his expression had softened into something more natural. Conversation was stilted and broken, often by silence at first. Then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. As your secret hangout session stretched on, you thought that you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. Stop! Stop! You're making it so difficult. You hoped a day would come when life decided that the two of you would have to... blah, 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 blah. You hoped a day would never come when life decided that the two of you would have to part ways, and you knew Cove felt the same. Yes, best friends forever. Even when I married Derek in this, Cove's gonna be my best friend and live in the garage or something. I don't fucking know. You opened your tired eyes, groaning as they adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your window and warming your tan skin. That's why she's so tan. She sleeps with her window open, like right next to it, and so the sun just... Pew! It's like when Fire Emblem Awakening was big and everyone kept being like, I can't stop marrying Chrom, it's too hard. I don't agree. Who picked Chrom? Nobody I know. Well, to be fair, nobody I know besides you even played that game. But I feel like nobody picked him. I was not at all interested romantically in him ever. He was always like actually platonic bestie. Well, no, the big thing was that people would Oh, that's right, because they wouldn't think to marry him off, and he auto-marries whoever he's closest with by the end of the first section of the game. That's funny. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple times, clearing the sleep from your eyes, before realizing with the start that it was actually morning. You couldn't remember even falling asleep. Yeah, we said the same shit. That's funny. Cove had crept through your window during the night, and the two of you spent time together trying not to wake your parents. You must have fallen asleep while you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. You wondered how late Cove had stayed before heading home. You're just watching them. I'm putting it in like the light-colored part of the room. In this little section here. I keep wanting to place it here. Like, well, I have to keep it on the screen. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether you should get out of bed, get ready for the day, or stay snuggled up for a little while longer. Until your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable mop of pale green hair, you bolted upright and gasped in surprise. He never left. He was still here in the morning. Your muscles refused to move an inch, and your eyes widened as you stared at Cove's sleeping form in absolute shock. Yeah, don't make any noise. If your moms found out he had slept here the entire night, you would both be in big, big trouble. Would we? Realizing quickly that you need to get Cove out of here before your moms or Elizabeth walked in and found him, you willed your body to get up and move and swung your legs over the side of it. After giving him a firm shake on the shoulder, Cove's eyes flew open and he woke with a start. You scrambled out of the way as he abruptly jumped to his feet before almost losing his balance and falling back down. He recovered just as quickly and faced you indignantly.
Hey,
What was that for? Shush! But the situation dawned on him, too, before he even finished the word. Cove blinked at you a couple times, his eyes growing in panic as some thought only he could hear settled in his mind. Oh my god, I fell asleep. You weren't exactly sure what to do as you watched Cove pace your room, looking around for— Well, don't calm down! Cove's hands flew to his face, letting out a sigh of relief when he found his glasses right where they were supposed to be. Despite that, he hadn't calmed down completely. The atmosphere was still frazzled. Calm down. You whispered to Cove harshly, trying to keep your voice down. You won't get caught as long as you're quiet. Cove nodded, his shoulders tense as he fixed you with a firm stare with his turquoise eyes. Letting out a heavy sigh, he ran a hand through his hair in exasperation and couldn't look at you again as he spoke. I'll see you later. You were confused by how all of this had played out, but hoped that was true. Right, bye, Cove. At that, you were suddenly wrapped up in a tense embrace. As panicked as he was, this seemed to be something he couldn't forget before leaving. Yee. Hugs from Bestie. You're a good friend. He firmly whispered the words into the top of your shoulder. But you were let go before you had a chance to respond or even fully react. When we did this last time, I was already crushing on him. Did they kiss during this scene? I don't remember. In a matter of seconds... No, not this one. Okay. In a matter of seconds, he had climbed over your bed and opened the window. A cool breeze rolled off the ocean, fluttering through Cove's hair and filled your room with a salty scent. The first kiss was while camping. Yeah. Cove fearlessly stepped out onto the ledge. You wished him luck, you rallied him to keep going, you suggested he sneak out the door in the tent. Yeah, sure. Good luck, be super careful. You weren't sure if he had heard you or not, but he kept going along, one foot in front of the other, with increasing speed until his form disappeared out of sight. You stuck your head out the window as far as it could go to try and keep watch. He walked the full length of the ledge before jumping down on top of the garage when lowering himself onto the fence. From there, he finally dropped down to the ground. You threw out your thumbs up at his successful climb. He ran off towards his house without stopping, disappearing behind the side of another building. You had to admit that you were pretty impressed with how doable he made that look. With a little sigh, you reclosed your window. Deciding there was nothing more you could do, you hopped off your bed and got ready to head downstairs for the day. Put on your slippers, check yourself in the mirror, made your bed. It was too early to do anything else. You took the stairs, slowly attempting to mask your face into a look of innocence. You were sure that someone would have come into your room if they had heard anything strange, but you couldn't be too careful. You had to play it cool. When you stepped into the living room, Elizabeth was there, tapping her finger on the counter. Good morning. She looked you over immediately, her eyes squinting at the greeting.
Why?
Why are you being so weird? Damn it! She got us! You hadn't even done anything. Your big sister never missed a beat, unfortunately. You turned and offered a tight smile, and her lips pursed together even tighter. Little. I hesitate to tell her anything, because she's in the stage of the game where she'll blackmail me for shit. But I don't think I've ever told her. Fuck it. I've never told her, I think, in any of the other playthroughs, so let's tell her. Cove was in my room last night for the night. You were still secretly buzzing from the event and just had to tell it to somebody. Your sister's mouth fell open as if on command from that admission. Don't tell Moms. After it really seemed to have sunk in, she buckled forward with laughter. Elizabeth even put a hand out to the kitchen island to keep a little more stable. I cannot believe you. You let the neighbor boy sneak into our house and then stay over. Wow, that's just wow. Does his dad even know? Shut up! Shut up! No, it's a secret. Shush! A secret? She's gonna blackmail me! I don't think you're supposed to keep secrets from your parents. That's bad, isn't it? I knew it! She leered forward mockingly. Come on, please. Well, your older sibling was having a good time putting the heat on like this. You were at her mercy.
You're welcome.
Fuck. You're lucky at least one person in this house isn't a tattletale. You better keep on... What? You're lucky at least one person in this house isn't it? You better plan on keeping my secrets starting today or else. And mercy was granted only for now. I don't even know any of your secrets.
Yeah, sure.
Right, yeah, sure. I don't know what you see in him, sis, but enjoy. Well, nothing, because I'm into Derek, totally. Yeah. With a wave, she walked straight out of the front door, leaving it shut behind her, and you let out a brief sigh of relief. It looked like you were getting away with that. Breakfast was eaten in peace and alone. Your moms were both out by the time you had gotten up. They had left you a serving of food from breakfast they made, hash browns and omelet, fruit salad, and there was a few sausage links. You took a little bit of everything. You passed on some parts because they weren't what you liked. You passed on some parts because you were trying to avoid meat. You passed on some parts because you were trying to avoid animal products. No, eat that bitch. It was tasty, you appreciate it, there's a variety in the meals your mom's made. A day lazily drifted by at home and eventually your parents returned. You pulled open the fridge again, lingering in the frosty air for a moment or two before grabbing a bottle of ice cold water and taking a long drink. Excuse you, there's tap water. It was perfect, balmy summer afternoon. You had decided to head outdoors and find something to do. I feel like I wouldn't have stayed inside. I would have been like, I'm going outside. And my first thing would be to meet up with Cove and be like, did you get caught? You hadn't decided what that something was just yet, but you were sure something was popping. Yeah, exactly. As you were heading out the front door, you paused for a moment. You hadn't seen Cove since you left that... Yeah. And you couldn't help but think about what... This would have been on my mind the moment I got out of bed. I would have... After he left, I would have gotten out of bed. I would have gotten dressed. I would have gone downstairs. Acted normal. Hung out for a little bit. And then be like, okay... It's the appropriate amount of time has passed for me to go hang out with Cove, in quotations. Let me go hang out with Cove and see if he got caught. As you were heading out your front door, you kind of... Would it be bad to go over to his house right now or to call him to check? You stepped out of your house, still stuck in the internal debate with yourself, when a voice caught your attention.
Hi.
Hi, little. Confused, you looked over to where where an unrecognizable woman was waving at you. A friendly smile plastered on her face. You racked your memory for where you might have seen her before, but nothing came to mind. Yeah, it's Mama. Not your school or from the country club your moms took you to. You had absolutely no idea who this woman was. The woman crossed the road towards you, and you were a little unsure whether you should stay put or go back into the house and lock the door. Yeah, Mama! Oops, I'm sorry. Was that presumptuous? I've heard about you, but you have no idea who I am, do you? She's so pretty. You shook your head and she removed her sunglasses to reveal sparkly ocean blue eyes. All of a sudden, she seemed a little more familiar. My son lives here, and my ex. With a bent smile, she lifted a hand to point at the condo across the street from your own house. She was Cove's mom! You didn't know why you hadn't realized sooner, now that you'd gotten a good look at her. She seemed nice. She's super pretty. She was a beautiful lady. This beautiful lady was Cove's mom? Wow. It's kind of crazy how both his parents were that good looking. Yes! No matter your thoughts on her, you still felt taken aback that she had appeared here so suddenly. Cove mentioned she was coming, but you hadn't gotten the impression that would be the very next day. This is like not even 12 hours from him telling me. Or something. She extended a hand again, this time for you to take, and you studied the manicured fingers in front of your face and the assortment of bracelets that dangled from her wrist. I'm Kira Priest, you can call me Kira. You reached out and took her hand, and she shook yours firmly, grinning wide. I'm little, but you already know that. Miss Priest DLC Rin. For real. Please. Please. That I do. Cove mentioned you to me before. It's nice to officially meet you. Cove talked to you about his mom, but hadn't mentioned how he said things about you to her. What has Cove said about me? What are you doing here? Nice to meet you too. She smiled at you fondly, her eyes crinkling at the corners. The sound of a door opening and closing caught both your attentions, and then you turned towards the sound. Towards the sound, it was to find Cove exiting his house, his eyes skimming the ground. Considering just how tall he'd grown, you kind of figured his mom also would have been tall, but she was much more on the short side for an adult anyway. Cove's height must have come from his father.
My baby.
There you are. I thought you were going to keep me standing out here all day. You tried to catch Cove's eyes as he walked towards you, but his gaze was firmly fixed on the sidewalk. When he finally crossed the road and looked up, he gave you a pitiful look. After the way he had acted last night, you knew he must be feeling pretty mixed up about this. You tried to wordlessly express that you understood. Cove and I are headed into town to grab something to eat while the snore is at work. Kira beamed at Cove and ruffled his hair, which only seemed to upset him more. You assumed the snore she was talking about was Mr. Holden. Excuse you! Excuse you! That man is fine! How dare you? Hey, you should come with us. I'd love to get to know you better. Yeah, you should come. Oh god. There was a pleading in his tone that you couldn't miss. Don't leave me alone with my mom, who I love. I know, it's different. It's weird. I get it. Of course, we'll run it by your parents first. Responsibility and all that. Save me! Aw. Poor baby. It's so awkward. It sucks. I'm glad I never had two separate parents. Basically, well, I was raised by all kinds of people, but really it's just my mom. And then I had a stepdad for a little while. And then I just didn't have a stepdad anymore. And now I still have a stepdad, but I met him when I was like way older. So we're like, fine. Of course I'll run by
Any Uzis.
It'll give me an excuse to meet them, which I need to do at some point. It's important to be neighborly if we're going to be roosting on this street for a time being. Any woozies, let's go. I love Mama. Kira walked ahead towards your house, and you hung back with Cove, who crinkled his nose as he walked. I'm sad that now, since I'm not marrying Cove, I'm not gonna have 3 moms. I mean, I guess if I marry Derek, he has a mom. I'll have a mother-in-law. But I love Kira.
Sorry.
I'm sorry about her, but I really do want you to come. I don't want to be just the two of us, not right now. Yeah, but it won't be Kira and Cliff. I love them. Not that the Suarezes didn't seem nice too. But, you know. You leaned in closer and whispered while checking around for anyone who might hear. This boy has to, like, bend down for me if I'm whispering to him. What happened? Did your dad know you were gone? Cove shook his head and sighed heavily. Dad was so focused on Mom showing up that he didn't even notice. Yeah. I thought when I heard them on the phone last night, that was something they were planning for the future. This morning, Dad said it was supposed to be a surprise, and I guess I was surprised. She's gonna be here all summer. Oh. I remember this part of the plot where Cliff would always plan things he thought was nice, and that would cause trouble in the family. You were surprised to hear that too. Cove sighed again, even heavier. I mean, maybe if you don't marry Cove, but you're super besties, then they'll just pseudo-adopt you and you'll get 4 moms and 2 dads. That's the dream. I'll go with you if you really want me to. He smiled, his shoulders relaxing a little in relief. Thanks, that'll be cool. The two of you headed over to where Cove's mom had just knocked on your front door and stood behind her. Mom answered the door after a minute, her eyebrows lifting in surprise at the group she found in her front door. Oh, in front of her. You realized that, like you, she would have no idea that was Cove's mom who was hanging with you. It's like how FF14 is actually a dad collecting simulator. We've only actually collected the one dad. Wait. 2 dads. Thancred and Edmond. However, after blinking at the woman a couple of times and looking between her and Cove, the realization seemed to strike her. Megas armor. So 3. I mean, we've also got a lot of moms. Hello there, I'm Pamela. My mom has a first name. Emmett Selk is a dad. You're his great-grandson's best friend. Fuck. That's only 4. I see you've met my kid, Little, and I'm guessing you've already known Cove for a while. Kira laughed, and you and Cove exchanged looks at your parents' weird sense of humor. I'm Kira Priest, Cove's mom. It's so nice to meet you. A head of purple-brown hair caught your eyes as Ma popped up behind Mom, squeezing herself in beside her. We have company. I was wondering what all the commotion was. She grinned excitedly at Kira. The two of them introduced themselves and shook hands.
Hello.
Hi, Little. Cove. Cove smiled at Ma shyly, and she gestured a hand towards the living room. There's no use hanging out in the doorway. Why don't you come in? I'd love to, but I promised to take my son out to eat, and I wouldn't want to hold you up with a surprise visit. Aw, I understand. You're welcome to stop by anytime. Hell yeah, all of the pretty moms.
Of course.
I'll take you up on that offer when I can. Count on it. Would you mind too much if Little went with Cove and I? My treat. We won't be driving, just a quick walk down the road. Sure, that sounds nice. You know what I've been craving? Sorry, my brain stopped. my god. Okay. For my birthday, we went to a Vietnamese pho place, and there was Thai tea. Like, actual Thai tea. And I've been craving that shit. That's what I wanted to say. That was it. Jesus Christ.
Have fun.
Just tell me what you're craving. I still have to go to the Gongcha up the road. Maybe I'll drop Sean off at work tomorrow. I hope you all have fun. You gave your moms a look and they smiled at you fondly. You were happy they were letting you go. You were annoyed they agreed just like that. You could tell that Cove really needed the support and you were ready to be there for him. Also, free food. Marvelous. Expect us back in an hour or two. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Your parents waved goodbye to the three of you as you backed up onto the street. There was a sound of the second door closing behind you. Front door. Damn it. I'm pretty positive I saw some restaurants when I was in the taxi. Not too far from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. The answer was straightforward and the tone was curt. Cove was usually more lighthearted than that. Kira put her hands on her hips and smiled at her son. Well, you sound like the area expert. Do you have any recommendations for a place nearby? Not really. Kira pouted at him a little and turned to you instead. How about it, little? Want to point me in the right direction? Sure. You'd been a lot of places in town, so you knew a couple good ones. There's a Chinese restaurant that me and my family go to all the time. It's my mom's favorite. There's also a tropical themed place that tries to be sort of fancy. Both sound like a treat. I'll leave it to you to pick for us since Cove is going through a phase over there. He huffed at her and turned his face away.
Thank you.
Thank you, Little. Will you show us the way? You nodded, taking the lead of your little group as Cove and his mom followed behind. Together, the three of you left the neighborhood. The walk was about 15 minutes, and along the way, Kira asked a lot of questions about the area. Cove was quiet most of the time, so you ended up answering her instead. My god, I would be so mortified. I'm Shy Babu. I don't want to talk to your parent. Kira explained that she lived in a large city and she loved how peaceful and relaxing everything seemed in Sunsetburg. The restaurant was busy as usual, but luckily you were shown right to a small table. Kira lowered herself into the chair while Cove picked the one diagonal to her, not facing her. I wonder if I can get Gongcha on DoorDash. Does that count? Would I get the receipt? Let's see. To start, what would you all like to drink? I'll get an orange soda. Noted. Just water, soda, milk, juice. 13-year-old that likes coffee. Gimme. Kira gave you a raised brow, but then smiled. Iced or hot? There's sugar on the table if you want to add it, but do you want cream with it? Iced with cream. Hell yeah. Sure. Kira placed an order for your drink, getting a black hot coffee for herself. God, woman after my heart. I love her so much. You took a long sip of your drink as you looked around the restaurant. Your small group checked over the menus to we're still in the fucking prologue. We haven't picked any of the chapters yet. This is gonna be it. I remembered that this game was long-ish, and also because I keep pausing to do stuff, to talk, but fuck, I forgot how the prologue so far has been 2 hours. Let's see, the last time you came here, the dish you ordered was amazing. You wanted to order something different this time. Kira and Cove didn't need any encouragement for this. They were totally focused on the information in front of them. Soon, the meals too were ordered and menus taken away. You glanced at the table service, waiting to figure out what to say. Cove sunk back further into his seat and avoided eye contact. He started to twiddle his thumbs while acting all this is perfect. You know what this is kind of like? This is like, not exactly the same, but sort of like when Val met his mom for the first time. And she was trying to be nice. And not the very first time they met, but maybe like the first time they tried to spend extended periods of time to like get to know each other. His sour feelings today were unignorable. Instead of asking more open questions, he'd brush off. Kira had mercy on her son and instead put her focus towards you. Oh god!
So?
Because this was kind of like the same with Skrull, where those two sort of ended up talking because Little didn't want to push Val, and Skrull was happy to talk as long as it kept the attention off of Val so he'd be comfortable. And also, those two, in any and every AU they can possibly meet in, just get along great, probably. What's a few things you're into? There's gotta be something you do for fun, especially now that you're not buried in school. I like to read. Fiction. Me too, nothing beats curling up with a good book. In manga, because I'm a fucking nerd. I haven't heard of that style, but I'm sure it's very good. She's trying to be supportive. She's like, I have no idea what that weeb shit is. That's fine. I like play games. I like video games. Maybe you can show me some games. Mom, you would love The Legend of Zelda. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And... Art self. I create digital... Hey! Calling me out. My computer at home doesn't really have all the programs I need. Enjoy. A lot of sketchbooks. And... I'm really into Cove. That's fine. Thanks. I'm happy to learn more about you. There's so much I hadn't heard. Cove leaves the details out. So what exactly did Cove say about me? Kira laughed, holding a hand in front of her mouth. Can't tell you that. I didn't come all this way to embarrass my son too much. Kids are delicate at this age. She laughed again, and you glanced at Cove to see his reaction. He was trying not to pay attention, but you could tell he was uncomfortable. Hoping it would clear some of the tension in the air, you decided to ask Kira a few questions of your own. Cove hadn't told you much about her, and you were curious to know more about this woman who was such a big part of his life. What exactly do you do for work? I'm a travel writer for magazines and things. I keep people in the loop on what's worth seeing. It's good work. Wow. What do you like to do? I spend time with my little boy, of course, and traveling. A real shock, huh? Where do you live normally? Nevada. Yeah, she lives next to Savvy. Have you ever been there? Shook your head. It's a beautiful place. Check it out if you can. Savvy's neighbor. I'm not gonna ask those. Savvy's the one with blonde and pink highlights and the green eyes, and then her neighbor has the bright green hair with the green eyes and the tattoos. It didn't seem to bother her at that the conversation dropped off. Cove sipped his soda angrily, slurping up the remaining drink. With furrowed brows, he looked ready to run straight out of the restaurant. You weren't sure if coming along had ended up making the lunch better or worse. You made a silly face at him, you smiled at him, you gave him a sympathetic look, you flicked a straw wrapper at him, and you left him alone. Cove eventually noticed you watching him. It took a couple moments, but finally he cracked a smile, and it made you feel a little lighter inside.
Very cute.
You two seem really cute together. Stop! Stop it! Stop! I'm here to play the DLC. Cove covered his face with his hands and leaned back in his seat.
Seriously?
Ugh, Mom, why would you say that? You felt bothered too, you blushed. Thanks, we are cute. It was definitely unexpected, and there didn't seem to be any other way you could react. Your meals were delivered shortly after that, and everything was so delicious, even Cove enjoyed his food. Fuck, I want coffee or Thai tea now.
Okay.
Alright, now that we're all full and content, can you explain why you've had a bug up your butt all day? Cove's face scrunched at that. Seriously, baby, what did Mom do to make you this mad? I haven't even been around a full day yet. He gripped the edge of the table, refusing to make eye contact. The words he spoke were barely audible over the din of the restaurant. You could have told me. She leaned forward to not miss anything else, eyebrows raised. Told you what? He finally seemed to find his voice and spoke the thoughts that had been on his mind. That I wasn't going to visit you this year, that you were going to be coming instead. Didn't you invite me? You wanted me here with you. Cove's eyes began to shake, his frustration ebbed. I do want you to be around, but I didn't know it'd be like this. It's not the same, and nobody said anything.
I see.
I see. Her expression grew tense. She threaded her fingers together and placed her hands in front of her on the table. We've both been gifted another Clifford surprise. Poor Mama, here all day, has thought Cove invited her along, and then has to yeah. Referring to that as a Clifford surprise almost caused both you and Cove to crack a smile. You also had no idea his name wasn't just Cliff. Over 5 years, nobody has ever called him Clifford until now. That's because he would be called a big red dog. She smoothed her hair out, not letting go of her stern look. The more things change, the more they stay the same. They let out identical sighs, but smiled weakly at one another afterwards.
I'm sorry.
I can go home, Cove. We can still set up a normal trip to my place before the summer ends. Cove's lips tightly closed together. He seriously pondered the option. I think I do want you to stay. I miss it when you're not there. My heart. She reached across the gap and grabbed his face, planting a kiss on his cheek. Cove tried to wiggle away. Ma, stop it! I'm sorry, sweet young men need to be smooched by their parents. If I don't, they'll take away my mom license. She's so fucking cute. Kira was completely enthused by Cove's admission, though a tone of seriousness did return to her voice when the conversation continued. Do you want to talk to your dad, too?
No.
No. Cove had snapped the words instantly, but reeled his annoyance back in just as quick. Maybe later. Not today.
It's alright.
I understand. We can shelve it. Thanks, Mom. Thank you for talking to me. She grinned affectionately at him before turning away. Or your way. Oh. And I didn't do anything. I was just here as a buffer. Yeah, what did I do? It's easy to act like a baby with your mom. It's harder to keep that up with your neighbor watching everything. Especially when you really care about what said neighbor thinks of you. Stop, we aren't dating in this one. She winked. I just came for the free food. You bet your ass. That's why I'm here. Mom. She just ruffled his hair with a laugh, then moved her hand down to tap the end of his nose. And that was how the issue was resolved, at least between Cove and his mom. When the three of you left the restaurant and Kira had paid the bill, you walked back to your neighborhood slowly. You had eaten so much by that time you were beginning to feel sleepy, and didn't help that lunch had happened late and the sun was already beginning to descend from the sky. But eventually you reached your street. Someone was there to greet your group upon arrival. Welcome back, family, and Zolo too.
Huh.
She shows up with her sunglasses. I forgot how hot he was. He is! He is! He is! I love how Kira shows up with her sunglasses, though, looking just completely like Cliff, and just continues. Dad? The two walked past him into the condo without sparing another word. Despite the summer heat, their shoulders were cold. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. He rubbed the back of his neck with a crooked smile, but his eyes were soft as he looked on after them. He's so much like his mom, don't you think? You gave a vague nod, not sure what he was expecting you to do. He nodded back, far more energetically. Have a nice night. You too, you sexy bitch. With that, Cove's dad disappeared to join the others inside. It was your turn to go home. Summer hadn't started off at all how you imagined it would have, though it turned out to set the tone well. Having Kira in the neighborhood was a new experience for not only you and Cove, but also both your families, and the doll moment was rarely had. Oh my god, we finally got to the fucking chapter select! Oh! 5 new moments centered around Derek. He also has special epilogue in step 4. To unlock it, you need to fulfill these conditions. Play all 5 of Derek DLC moments, complete Soiree with Cove, or by going alone is alright, as long as you finish the moment. Choose to remain in touch with Derek during step 3. Of course. Then you will have the option to play Derek's epilogue during step 4. You can only have 1 epilogue per playthrough. You can make a save on the epilogue selection screen to reload there and pick another later. Derek's DLC can be a friendship or a romance story. Hehehehe. Oh, there's 2 soirees. I see. Well, we're done for tonight because my fucking god, I forgot how long that takes. I might do just all of these again, because Derek shows up in a couple of them, like in this one. This is the one where I get to punch Jeremy, so I do want to share that one too. Derek shows up in this one. I think he's in this one too. And then these ones. I'll probably probably still do them. I might do a couple just like on my own, since I've done them before. Though I guess the last time I did them, I had a different relationship with Cove. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I will probably end up streaming most of it just because it's easier rather than like... Because if I do it on my own, I'll just want to keep doing it on my own. But it's always fun to share this with Scrawl. Alright. Damn me. Yeah, that you. Now we have to go watch the old VODs and see if we had the exact same conversations. Okay. Oh, and, once Dawn Trail gets moving, I guess, my Wednesdays and Fridays are probably gonna be like rage streams. If I stream, I might not stream it all the time. So I'll move my regular streams to maybe different days and probably do them a tad we'll see. I usually stream when I'm really motivated to finish the game, and then in between sections are usually where we go like 2 weeks without doing it or something. Bye. Still love this game. It's so cute. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night and goodbye.